What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now PS Edition. I'm Alex. In this video, I wanted to predict the PS Plus games for February. So this is a cool little segment that I wanted to try out and do monthly. I also wanted to kind of review or rate what we end up getting when we actually do get PlayStation Plus. So if you guys like this kind of idea, make sure you like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing, having that bell icon turned on, all that good stuff. But here we go. Now, it's not going to be the greatest predictions in the world. To be quite honest with you, Sony is quite, they're pretty good at picking games that not a lot of people would always expect. Sometimes there are reasons why they pick a game. Sometimes it's to lead into a new game. But honestly, sometimes it's just completely random. We see this month from PlayStation Plus, we got the Uncharted collection or the Nathan Drake collection, so Uncharted 1 through 3, and we also got Goat Simulator, right? Now, I'm only going to predict the major game for February because I'd call the Nathan Drake collection the major game. The Goat Simulator, the second game that's normally for every month, sometimes it's two big games, sometimes it's one game and then like an indie or a game that people have never even heard of before. We had like that Monster Energy truck racing game a few months ago. It's like that game nobody bought that game before that happened, right? So, sometimes they're pretty unpredictable with that second game, so I'm only going to predict the first game. And I am going to go off the strategy that it'll be to promote something else. So that's going to kind of be my strategy for February. I'm going to predict that it's going to be a game that's going to promote some other kind of game. Now, there's a couple games we know that are coming. Every game known to man is getting delayed nowadays, but we know games like Final Fantasy VII's remake. We know games like Nioh 2. There's some games, Doom Eternal. There's some games coming out in especially March and even April that I think you could look at publishers and you could look at previous games for hints. And just generally, like I said in the beginning of this video, that's what I'm going to be trying to do. Now, Nioh was already given away as a PS Plus game. So I don't think, so we can all play that if you had downloaded it or you add it to your library. So I don't think they would do that again. Even though Nioh 2 is a big deal, I'm sure they're hoping it does well. I think the people that are going to get it are going to get it. And again, we've already gotten it for PlayStation Plus, so I don't think we would get it again. And I think we got it just over this past summer, so it's not like we got it years ago and they would redo it. We just recently got it, so I think that's out. My prediction, and again, this is probably going to be completely wrong. It'll probably be a game we've never heard of, or just a game in general that we aren't thinking of. Last year, for February, we had Hitman, the complete first season, and For Honor. And neither of those games really had to do with much, although you could argue For Honor was a Ubisoft game, so it was getting people ready for The Division 2. There were some Ubisoft games in that span right after February that you could say, well, maybe that's why they did that. So this time, I'm going to say it's either going to be Doom or it's going to be Final Fantasy 15. Neither of them, obviously, first parties, and both, honestly, for the exact same reason. Final Fantasy VII's remake coming out exclusive to PlayStation. That's a big deal. They're putting a lot of money into it. I'm sure they're expecting it to do very, very well, and honestly, it will do very well. It's going to be a really big exclusive for Sony coming out in the very beginning of April now that it got delayed. So I understand it's not in March. I understand that if you come out in February with this in PlayStation Plus, it's not like you're getting it the very next month, but you're getting it right after that. So I think Final Fantasy 15 makes sense. I think the connections, trying to get people back into the Final Fantasy universe. Do you necessarily need it? No, because I think Final Fantasy VII's remake is going to do phenomenal on its own. I think that's one option. Like I said, Doom is the other. Now, Doom, I believe Sony did a thing a few years ago, because I looked it up to see if they ever had given away Doom. They never gave away Doom for PS Plus, but they did allow you to basically play the game like a free trial edition if you had PlayStation Plus for a length of time. And they have done that with past games before, right? Where they, like a weekend or a week in general, but you get to play part of, if not as much of the game as you can play in that span of time. And that's what they did with Doom, I believe, like 2 years ago. So I think it makes sense. They've already kind of dipped their toes into the Doom universe. And to be quite honest, that one lines up the best, right? If we get it in February, you get it that first full week of February, and then all of a sudden, a month and a half later, pretty much, Doom Eternal comes out. Now, Doom Eternal was supposed to come out, it was actually pushed, right? It was supposed to come out in the fall, but it was pushed. I don't know how early and advanced Sony does it. Sony lines up what their PS Plus lineup's going to be, but I think it honestly makes the most sense. They've kind of already done it before, but they haven't exactly, right? Because I believe with that, once the time ran out, once you got to the last day of the trial, the game's gone. So it's not like if you add it to your library, you can still play it. So I think it makes sense. I think it works really, really well. Doom Eternal is also a really big game. Again, you've already captured like people that bought the Doom, 2016's Doom, are going to get this one, I assume, or at least a lot of them, right? But there's always room for new players, and putting this on PlayStation Plus, millions and millions and millions of people that have never played it before would get the chance. I think Doom is the smartest option. It makes the most sense. Like I said, there's not really, like, Neo is really one of the only other ones. There's Iron Man VR that comes out for PlayStation that got delayed actually until May now. So if you're looking at like PlayStation exclusive things, I don't really know what you could do. The Last of Us Remastered has already been given out, so things like that, I don't know. I mean, maybe as it gets closer to Ghost of Tsushima, we could see like Infamous or like an Infamous something like that. I don't think we've ever had Second Son given away for free. So there are definitely options, but some of those games, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, those are further out. And, you know, again, I'm just basing this whole thing off of that I think it's wise, and Sony has done it before where they have the game be free, that, you know, there's some sort of marketing strategy, right? You're doing it because you're trying to push something else, but that's not always what they do. Again, like that's not what they're doing this month, right? The Uncharted collection, there's no Uncharted within sight. The Last of Us is too far out, so it's kind of just like a thing to give to us. And then Goat Simulator, or whatever that second game is, most times it's just a random thing. I guess you could also maybe do like a Little Big Planet, although Little Big Planet 3, I believe, was already given out for free for PlayStation Plus. But you could do that for Dreams, because Dreams comes out February 14th. So that's something I guess you could do, but 3 was already given out, and 3 wasn't even made by Media Molecule. So I don't know if there's a Little Big Planet 1 and 2 collection, but maybe you give away 2, maybe you give away the second game, like that's a possibility. But I don't know. I don't think they necessarily do it for that month. I think that would have actually made more sense to do this month right now, January, rather than the month that Dreams comes out. So I'm interested to see what it is. Once we know, we can kind of review it, we can rate it, see how it kind of stacks up to its previous competition. I'm very excited to do that kind of video. So again, guys, let me know in the comments below. Firstly, what do you think the PlayStation Plus games of the month are going to be for February? Let me know if you like this kind of video. Make sure you guys are subscribed, have that bell icon hit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.